like I always said, not to say I think I said this in the SmackDown versus Raw playthrough, but I'll say it here anyway because different people in it. But I always like the idea of when you're doing a wrestling game is to actually make it like flip the gameplay on its head a little bit and kind of make it almost more of a cooperative thing. So whoever you're paired up with against it as an AI, like they will throw a spot to you, and then you have to respond in kind with what you think like works out the best. And you are
Mm.
between the two of you trying to make the best match or to do something in particular in the match to get something across. So the actual
Yeah.
gameplay is not necessarily action oriented; it's now a puzzle. Like you're actually trying
Mm.
to construct the best match because that's actually true to life. Like you actually are doing that. You're working spots in. You're doing your kind of like bits and pieces in between. So like the gameplay instead of actually having the kind of the your stereotypical wrestling gameplay that you would have, it is now like okay, get to this point in time, like complete your sequence here, do your sequence there, whatever it is, and then construct, and then essentially it is now like kind of like crowd management as well. Like lift them up, bring them down, like read the room. What do they want? What do you think these people need? Like it's all these kind of different factors, you know.
Why? What? Foxy? What? I was listening to Jonathan making a very valid point, and you ruined the whole thing by sending me the most out of context gif I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Why?
Why not?
Just why? Do you feel like the big man, Foxy? Now is that it?
So I was making a very salient point, and as per the conditions of the channel, that is not allowed.
No, it is not. It is not. We're a
So,
bunch of children.
no, this guy's being all intellectual and making valid points. This is derail this fucker. Okay.
So anyway, yes, your point is valid, and I agree with it.
I always say
Um,
it'd be a different spin on a wrestling game. That's the way I would say
Yeah.
it.
yeah. So but I mean, look, the game was brought. It was for horny teenage boys. Whatever, that's fine. But
Yes.
I thought there was and he said it as well. You know, there's some. They weren't executed the best, but there was some interesting
Some
ideas in
ideas in
there.
there, yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you know, that it would have been cool to see maybe picked up elsewhere.
Mm.
Um, and done in a like a serious way. But then that said, I can't think of many other arcade style wrestling games that
Mm.
aren't licensed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Firefall would be the
remember,
other one.
yeah, well, that's kind of licensed though in New Japan, isn't it?
Not what's it? Yeah, I suppose it is now. Yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah.
I mean, completely fresh arcade characters. Like, I
Mm.
mean, there was one year. Now I'm talking years ago. I know Jamie found the name of this for me one day outside the gym. We just happened upon talking about this game. I basically, so I'll tell you how old I am here, folks. So I used to rent the PlayStation, um, because I was very poor, and so we couldn't afford PlayStation. So I used to save up my pocket money and go rent the PlayStation from the local video shop, Dowlings,
Mm.
and so there was very limited games that you could get because you couldn't rent. Well, you could, but there's no point in renting Final Fantasy when you had it for a night.
Yeah, very
Like,
true.
you know, so you'd find like little arcade games, and there was one wrestling game I found, and I can't. I Jamie Power found it, the proper name of it, and I can't remember the name of it now. Um,
We mentioned this as well, and I can't place it now as well. It is like
I
a
remember he got the name of it. Because I remembered specifically one character's name. I
mm.
specifically remembered one character's name. And that character's name was Chain Gang, and he was dressed in orange, and he was like a prisoner. And the announcer used to announce "Unshackle Chain Gang," and he was like this. You know, he was meant to be like a convict or whatever. Um, but it was very much like that. It was like like individual arcade characters
Mm.
in a wrestling game, and it was a lot of fun. Now,
Mm.
again, I was probably around 15, 14 or probably 15 maybe,
Yeah.
maybe a little younger. So obviously it may not hold up now. It might be shit. It might have been shit then, and then maybe just the novelty of having a PlayStation for the night was made it cool. I don't know.
Mm.
Actually, do you know what? I haven't looked up. I haven't tried Googling it in a while.
Was it Power Move Pro Wrestling, Dennis?
if I see it, very well may it very well might have been. If I can see the cover, or if I can
Mm,
see a snapshot of it, I would know.
yeah. Well, in the meantime, I'll
Can you see like an image of it or anything?
yeah, it's a very generic cover of it, but if you just kind of
I
Google it,
might
you
know
like
it though if you can
yeah,
send it to me.
I will. Hang on 2 seconds.
Or if there's
Uh,
even better if there's a screenshot of like gameplay or something,
I'll tell you now. Hang on.
because I'd remember the gameplay even more.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can see it. Yeah, it's Power Move Pro Wrestling.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Nice one. Nice one.
because there's also gameplay. And there he is. There's Chain Gang in his orange. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Wow, memories.
What the
Mm.
fuck? You just like touch the
Yeah.
fucking receptionist up.
But that was one way around it. Like I don't know why. I suppose that was a shortcut. I suppose. But another way to get in is just basically like to leg it essentially. But we know there's something up now because we asked to see where Hojo is, and he did sign in to the building,
But not for
but
7 years.
not no, he was there recently, but he never left. So he's either still in the building or he escaped, or obviously didn't log out. So something mysterious is going on there.
Holy shit. Sorry, this is the first time I've read the Wikipedia for this game.
Okay.
Firstly, it was developed by Ukes,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm shocked by. Secondly, it was originally a licensed game for New Japan.
Oh, there you go.
But then the promotion wasn't popular outside of Japan. So what they did was they did an original roster like arcade characters,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but kept the move set from the
Of
New
the
Japan
wrestlers.
roster.
Ah.
Nice.
Wow.
That's one way to get around it.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've ever seen reviews of it, like apart from me playing it. We got 4 out of 5.
Whereas if that
Um,
game was released now, it'd be a different talking point.
Exactly. Yeah. People wise to it.
But you see, and that's part of the shame of it. Like I had genuine fun with that.
Yeah.
As again, it was a different time when I suppose like people like me, you would only like rentals aren't really a thing anymore, but like you'd have to get joy out of it because even if it was a shit game, you fucking
that's all you
paid
had.
for this shit.
Yeah.
You have it for a night, you're gonna fucking play the shit out of it.
Exactly,
You're gonna get your money's worth.
Yeah, exactly.
It cost fucking £5 or whatever for the whole lot together.
Yeah, and you're getting that money regardless.
And you were getting your fucking money. Do you know what?
Yeah.
I was younger than 14, 15 because I had to use pocket money to get it. So I must have been 12 or 13 thereabout. I was heading into teenage, but I was very young. Jesus, yeah, it must have been. What year was that released in? Because that wouldn't have been
95, it says here. Well, 95 in Japan, but the American port was 96.
96, 97 probably.
Yeah.
So if we say it was around, it was around 96, I suppose. That's 27 years ago.
Yeah, there you go.
Like I would have been, yeah, I'm right. I would have been 11 or 12. Yeah.
There you go.
I would
Yeah.
have been 11 or 12. Yeah, that's about right. Because I remember specifically like when my parents would have visitors, I'd ask could I wash their cars
To get the pocket change.
for like £1.
Yeah.
To get money to go and rent a PlayStation for the week, for the weekend or something like that. Because it was Friday and I was done with school or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Different times, huh?
Different times. And one thing I always say about my parents, like we had fuck all money. My dad was retired because he with disability he wasn't able to work anymore, and my mother was working as a librarian. We didn't fuck all money.
Yeah.
But that said, by fuck they made it work. Like there wasn't like a single Christmas that I didn't get what I wanted. And because what they used to do, this was the benefit of living in like a small town. They were able to like put something aside and like pay for it for the whole fucking year.
Yeah.
And then get it at Christmas. And that's the one thing, actually, this is just to fucking weirdly talk about this now. It's the one time I thought of moving back home was actually when my dad was dying. So
Yeah.
I thought of moving back home because I don't think you'd ever get this in any city. You wouldn't get it in Waterford. You definitely wouldn't get it in Dublin, as far as I'm aware. But what happened when dad was dying, right? We didn't, obviously, the whole family was home. And we were all home. Like, so he stayed alive for about 10 days after we'd all been called home.
Mm.
And fucker just wouldn't die. But like, stubborn fucker right until
Stubborn
the
old
end,
man, yeah.
right?
To the
Right
end.
until the end. Tough motherfucker, right?
Mm.
Anyway, what happened was, like, we'd obviously, there's in the family there's fucking 5 siblings in the family, and then all, like, but it was just the 5 siblings around, and then mom as well. So obviously we ran out of food
Mm.
relatively quickly, so we'd have to keep going down to shop and all that. Lo and behold, like, every fucking second day, the local Super Value would send up a fucking huge crate delivery of food for free.
Yeah.
Like, and just say, yeah, that's on us. And it was all like the essentials, eggs and bread and milk and all this shit and huge things. And then, like, the chipper every third night or something would send over a rake of burgers and chips and all that,
Yeah.
all free again. None of this shit was asked for. They were just
No.
like sending shit to us. I was just like, that's a fucking benefit of living in a small town. Is
Yeah,
like,
that everyone knows
people
each other and
actually
everyone,
giving
yeah.
a people actually giving a shit.
Yes.
Do you know?
No, that's that no that and that's how that'll always be appreciated
Maybe
as
I'm wrong.
well.
Maybe you would get that where you live. I don't know, but you
No.
definitely wouldn't get it down here in Warford. I
It,
know
it,
that.
it like a certain, like, yeah, if it's it depends on like which very specific communities you'd be living in sometimes.
If
But
you're in a small little circle of a small neighborhood, yes.
yeah, but
Well,
the
Yeah.
liberties usually look after
what
each
the
other, to be fair.
fuck?
I
Oh yeah,
suppose it was just weird to me that, like, the shops were
yeah,
sending stuff, not people. It was the shops were sending shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
I get you. I get you. Right.
Mhm.
I think I need to give context here. So we left Tokugawa HQ, came back, and basically they've had a party on. So the reception is a bit more obliging to us because we showed that we were actually
So
Policenauts,
I've just
which was
gone from
fantastic.
talking about my dead dad.
Yeah, to this.
So, and you wonder why I don't do shows with you anymore, Jonathan.
Yeah, it's a sudden change in tone.
Trying to
isn't it?
have a
Like,
heartfelt conversation, and then we're just presented with tits and ass and stuff.
pretty,
All
pretty
again,
fucking.
and that's why, I love my dad and I love that things happen. And then Fox is going, Jesus Christ, look at the tits on that.
Let's be clear, I did not say that. I said Jesus Christ.
The timing. The timing was very, very unfortunate there.
Mhm.
So yeah,
It's all right. My dad would have said the same thing.
yeah. To be fair,
Don't look,
But,
don't look. I'm not looking.
so where we're at here is what's called the garden, and it's basically the top of the tower where it's 0G. And we're basically at what looks to be a launch party of some description.
It's some sort
Why
of launch
use a
party anyway,
straw
that's
for a
sure.
drink that small? Just drink it, you weirdo. What is your one doing?
But bear in mind, it's 0G, Dennis. Like that glass is capped. Like that's the straw is the only way into the drink.
They thought of that detail, really?
Yes. This
Why is your
Kojima,
one
he has
just
explained
staring
everything.
at his furrowed brow? What's wrong with her face?
Well, there's your understanding there. She's escorts. But I don't know why the graphics have betrayed her a little bit there, unfortunately. So yeah. There's 3 different like criminal gangs here. And the guy closest to us there with the straw is supposed to be from the Spanish gang, but he looks like the most Irish person possible. So, and there's also like a military EMPS unit here as well.
It's like a
So-
preemptive, like fucking Metal Gear there.
Yeah, essentially, but this would be the same equivalent of having like a Rex parked up for what is essentially a birthday party.
Mm.
Like, it's a bit drastic. And it's always like a gold one as well. So it's like something not fucking Call of Duty.
Only if you paid like €100.
Yeah.
Real money to get it.
Yeah, so some idiots do, unfortunately.
Or 250,000.
Yeah. I don't know if it's come up in dialogue just yet, but they're explaining that some of the escorts here are clones of famous actresses from time gone by. So like essentially these are like test tube babies, but are actual like human deep fakes, essentially. And they're being used as escorts. So again, further example of space being a cesspool.
Although also realistic, because if that technology existed, that would happen.
Yep. Oh yeah, like we're not that far away from deep fake
happen.
porn. Like yeah, exactly. Like we're close to it. Like, and that's the scary part.
Yeah, but it's always been a fucking controversy. Like, I mean, I remember. I'm sure you remember actually as well. Remember when they released that fucking ad was it for Galaxy or something, that Audrey Hepburn was in it, and fucking
yeah.
That was way before deepfakes was a thing.
That's right. Yeah.
And I remember the conversation was like, when will they stop? And then it was like, yeah, well, they paid her estate loads of money, and the estate accepted it. So
yeah,
that's on the estate at that stage.
Well, same as like certain actors like giving up their likenesses for AI and stuff like that. It's like
in fact, that was touched on in the newest series of Black Mirror.
Wasn't it? Yeah. I haven't watched the new series now, but
really good.
Yeah.
It was the one with Salma Hayek and Michael Cera, which is a weird thing to say. In it, but it does it really well, which is actors and actresses essentially, because they can make so much money now with deepfakes by just signing over their likeness to appear in a movie.
Yeah.
And they can make so much money by signing over their likeness or whatever to just do all this extra work, and then it's a whole thing of how that could be used against them and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, there's a big risk to it, like, you know, because it could be anything. Yeah. So these two. So I remember what the term was now. So those kind of like cloned models, as it were, are called rebirthers, which is such a horrible name, but I suppose it's kind of meant to be unpalatable. But these two are like actual genuine human beings, thankfully. So we're talking to them, and they're basically giving us the lowdown on what's supposed to be going on. And this is apparently the launch party for K9. So that's handy, because the guy that made it is fucking disappeared. So hopefully he'll show up here. You'd like to think.
If he comes in and his name is Otacon, I'm gonna flip the fuck out.
You'd be happy that there's no Otacon in this game. You have a mirror, but there's no Otacon. That would have made. Oh, the Foxy's disappointed. Oh,
yeah, that would have kind of been cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, yeah. In fairness, like Kojima's one for recycling his characters. To be fair,
is there a Hal?
No, there's no Hal. Nor is there a Huey. So no, definitely not.
Anybody going to get the Metal Gear collection when it comes out?
Yeah, I mean, I think they already have them, like as it is. So like, I need to see the Snake Eater remake to pass judgment. I know I've seen screenshots and stuff like that, but it looks like a HD remake, and I'm happy with that, because like,
is that included? That's not included in the collection. That's going on its own, isn't it? No, I know Snake Eater is in there, but is it not the remake is separate? Is it not the original one in the collection?
Remake is separate.
Yes.
Yeah, the remake is separate, but the original one is in the collection.
Yes.
Yeah, the Massive Collection's out first.
That's what I'll be getting. I'll be getting the collection.
Yeah. Oh, look who showed up.
I know. I'd be interested in getting the remake as well.
Yeah.
But then I have to wonder, am I going to play? Is the original NES one on it as well? Yeah, I think so.
It'll be part of the subsistence. So yeah,
but then I'm like, am I actually going to play that? I doubt it.
Yeah. Well, at least you got the choice.
Yeah.
But it'd actually be cool to play if it is going to be on it. Do you remember the skateboarding game mini game that they put in for
for the Xbox exclusive? Was it? Yeah.
No, because I wouldn't have had an Xbox.
Yeah, that was part of Substance, the MGS2.
So like, when I was younger, I didn't have that version. So my friend did, and anytime I go over, I'd be like, I want to play this, because that's fucking good. And I was so fucking like bummed out, because I thought like that'd be really cool, because they were using the Evolution engine,
to
make that, and the people that made that extra bit, They went on to do their own like skateboard game, but it was nothing to do with fucking Metal Gear.
Well, that's
like,
why that's why it was taken out of the HD collection, because that and the Ape Escape minigame from 3, they both had to be taken out because of the licensing. So it's the same way with like the GTA relaunches has only half the soundtrack because they've lost the licenses since. But you can play the original PS2 game emulated on PS4 and it's fine. So like, what's the fucking point? You know, depends on what you. If you have the original, then that's happy out. So here's Tokugawa, there dead center with the kind of greenish hair, looking a bit like Stephen Fry for some reason. And his literal right hand man is Salvatore there on the right hand side. So he's working under Tokugawa, happy out, getting his money, no morals. And then Chris, who we had met in the hospital, just happened to show up at this party as well by Tokugawa's side. Which side is she on? I hear you asking. So she just seems to be a big fan of the Policenauts generally, or just playing both sides, I guess.
Or just fan the money.
Yeah. I think what we're establishing is that politics is a thing in space. And even if Chris hates the guts of Tokugawa and doesn't like what he does, she has to be seen to be there.